Hi there guys, welcome back to Moscow Connect, and today we've got a very special show lined up for you. I'm a British guy standing here in Moscow, Russia, and today we're at Forum of the Future. We've got a number of guests lined up, and we've got a very special podcast arranged for this afternoon with the one and only George Galloway from the UK. There's other speakers including Sergey Lavrov and Errol Musk, of course the father of the founder of SpaceX, Elon Musk, and he's here in Moscow right now. So come with me and let's have a look around. We'll give you a few of the speakers. We'll show you sort of what's out there, what's going on here at the forum, as well as the very exclusive podcast we've got lined up for you this afternoon. So follow me and let's show you around.
Well, as I said to Mr. Lavrov yesterday, I am half Irish and half Scottish, so the crimes of the Anglo-Saxons are nothing to do with me. And I was a member of the British Parliament over 5 decades, from the 1980s until last year, and I opposed whether my party was in government or in opposition, I opposed the attitudes and policies of all governments from Mrs. Thatcher onwards. So with that in mind, I should like to make clear that the hostility, visceral hostility evinced from London towards Moscow long predates President Putin. It long predates the Bolshevik Revolution. It is an ancient and peculiar hatred going back to the 19th century and the imperial rivalries between the two then empires. And so when you hear and read the British media fulminating against Putin, or those of us on this platform who will in tomorrow's London Times be described as ultra-nationalist, far-rightist Putin apologists, know that the same kind of note would have been struck in all of those former periods. It's any bad name that they can find for any particular era, but the motivation is the same. Now, the British, as you correctly said, once had an empire. Then when they lost the empire, they settled for being the brains of America. Greece to America's Rome. The old joke about the president's brain being missing, we were prepared, happy indeed, to be the brains of the American empire. Like Mussolini, who went around the world threatening people with Germany's army, Britain went around the world threatening people with America's army. But we now have the hitherto unprecedented situation where America's army doesn't want to be here. The Americans have got a brain, and they're using it rather more sensibly than we might have done. So we are up the Yangtze without a paddle. We no longer can rely on the United States. The Europeans in general are not, how shall I put this without being offensive to my French and other European colleagues, they are not up to scratch as a military adversary of Russia, still less of Russia and China together. Our armed forces were able to fit into a middle-sized English football stadium our entire military forces, Army, Navy and Air Force, could fit into the stadium of Aston Villa, a middle-sized football stadium, except we're now heading towards a smaller-sized stadium with thousands more leaving the armed services than are joining. So when you hear Keir Starmer's braggadocio about placing Britain on a war footing against a nuclear-armed superpower, know that he's talking about an economy that is failing, a society that is falling apart, and an armed force which is scarcely worth talking about. And other European countries, I shan't name them, are even less of a military force. So these are the pangs coming from what is left of the Western Empire. And as scholars will know, no empire leaves the stage willingly. We had the opportunity, seeing the sun rising in the east, of getting alongside the east and absorbing some of the sunshine. Instead, like King Canute, who famously went to the seaside and commanded the waves to stop, we are observing this rising sun and cursing it and denying it and turning our faces away from it. We should have gotten alongside the rising forces in the east, but we decided to do the opposite. And that's where we now are. You ask, and I think His Excellency, the former Russian ambassador to London, is with us. I talked with him last night about former times. Ambassador Maysky, for example, was in Downing Street every evening for a drink with Mr. Churchill. Once upon a time, things were very different. Now the Russian ambassador in London is virtually a prisoner who can scarcely leave the embassy. You ask if Britain's relations with Russia will improve. The quickest way of saying is, it is not until I'm Prime Minister.
Money you've got. First, you find the business that you want to do. Then you get heavily immersed in what it is that you're trying to achieve. Let's assume it's tech, or let's say it's tech. It could be something to do with the beauty industry. I don't know. When you start doing it, strange enough, and I've experienced, the money is the thing that comes behind you when people see what you're doing. You don't start with money. You start doing the thing, and then the money comes behind it. You understand what I'm saying? The worst thing you can do to someone is give them $1 million. That would be me too. Put robots and AI people are not going to let robots and AI rule the world. They will be tools for us, and I don't believe in this story that AI is going to take over human thought. Nothing quite equals human thought. No matter how much, even Elon tells me that AI will be faster, this and that and the other. My little pocket computer can multiply faster than I can, but I'm much cleverer than my little pocket computer. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that. But on the other hand, the technical world, and I assume that's what you're talking about, robots and so forth, will apparently be part of our lives. So Elon has made it clear that by 2040, we should, in many homes, or all homes, I think he said all homes, will have a robot, much as you have a washing machine. And this robot will wash your dishes and serve you food, or work in your garden, or whatever it is you want the robot to do. So that's not far away, that's 15 years away, that's very, very soon. And I've learned to believe Elon, that's for sure. He says it generally is true, so we can look forward to a lot of amazing things. I don't think it's going to be, I'm not sure if that's the point you were making. I don't believe it's going to be a threat to us. I think it's going to be good for us. It'll be very, very good. And then as far as AI and robots taking away people's jobs, I mean, that's ridiculous. In fact, leaving people with the human mind, which is the most complicated device that we know of in the universe, and capable device, leaving people free from mundane tasks by having robots is common sense. What a good idea, what a good idea. I can focus on the book I'm writing. I don't have to wash the dishes. I can focus on the book I'm writing or the painting I'm making, instead of having to polish the floors, because I've got a robot that does that.
So that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning in to Moscow Connect. I hope you've enjoyed today's show here exclusively from Forum of the Future 2050 here in Moscow. Like I say, hope you enjoyed the show. Do write to us in the comment section below. We will endeavour to get back to every single comment that is written in to us, and we'll get those replied to. Please do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notifications so you can be notified whenever a video comes out. And again, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. We really, really do appreciate it. But until then, do svidaniya, and we'll see you all on another video very soon.